All right. So let me share my screen. I hope you guys are able to see.
Yes, Fanny.
Yes. Yes.
You're able to see the presentation, right? In the presenting mode?
Yes.
Okay. So this is my agenda. I'll start with my introduction and then I'll go with the objective. And then I'll try to explain what is AI and ML, basic things. And then I'll try to explain what is deep learning. And then main important aspect is why AI now? What is this going to be doing in my career? How to build your career path? So how my course is going to helpful for you guys, and then we can have a question and answer session. Does that sounds good? Any questions
Yes.
so far? All right. All right. Before going to this, I'll start my introduction first. My name is Fani Chandrasekhar. If I know some of them, most of them are having known to me, but for the other people. So I'm having total 20 years of IT industry experience. I played various roles like programmer, lead, manager, technical manager, engineering manager, various roles I played, and I had the exposure to both services and product companies as well. And most of the time I was into Microsoft technologies, and mostly I was into .NET, C#, jQuery, SQL. So I do have this passion whenever there is a new upgradation of the Microsoft technology skills coming up. I started exploring them and trying to experiment on those, even if it is not involved in our current projects where I was working that time. So that exploration, that passion actually helped me a lot, and I was able to know many things, many aspects actually, which can be applied in our business. That helped me a lot actually, that passion. So because of that, I started digging into Silverlight at some point of time, and then Light Switch at some point of time, SharePoint, vStack server, and then I dug into these bot technologies, sorry, the blockchain technology. So it was around 2018 and 2019, I was exploring on the blockchain technology. During that time, I came into more about the AI part, because they're trying to integrate both blockchain and AI at some point of time. So then I realized maybe this is the right time to dig into this. But I was just exploring on a lighter note. But because until 2020, we didn't hear much about AI. Most of the things we are hearing from AI is since 2022, because OpenAI came into the picture and they started showcasing these GPT models to everyone. Then people realized, okay, AI is into the picture. But anybody knows when these AI got evolved actually? Anyone?
Maybe in the last 2 years.
When the AI first evolved actually?
First award. Okay.
2006.
2006. Any more? Two more answers. All right. It is actually 1950. You'll be surprised actually, because it was more of a machine learning part in 1950. There is a famous mathematician called Alan Turing, who has he's working with the allies during the Second World War. Actually, before it is in 1940s around actually. So he tried to crack one engine called Enigma, which is a system generated by the German army during the Second World War. They are using this to encrypt the messages from source to destination. So nobody able to crack that. In that situation, your allies took the help from this guy, Alan Turing. He's from UK, Britain. So he was able to provide the solution for that. He is the cryptanalyst during that time, and he tried to build a system, a Turing machine. Some you might have studied about this in your academics as well. So that's the machine, Turing machine we were talking about. That's the first machine learning system which got evolved. And then from there onwards, it was actually ups and downs are there for AI. But the deep learning part was introduced in the early 2000s. That's what it is. That's how that history was there. So there I had this interest and jumped into this and started my course. I did my PG program from IIIT Hyderabad in 2022. It's almost a 9 months course. I was able to understand the mathematics, statistical things, algebra stuff as well, because I do have the math background. I'm happy with that. During my schooling or college, we thought that why we are learning these kind of theories or mathematical solution or equations. I got the solutions, I got the answers during my course here actually. That's what I would say. So that entire 9 months course is mostly into theory and the study of algorithms and the study of the concepts which were built since last 60 years. So from 1950 to 2010, whatever the concepts were implemented, they tried to teach that to us. First 3 months is mostly into Python language and then mathematical stuff. Only we were able to do programming on in the third, fourth month and fifth month and sixth month. So if somebody feels like we need a lot of coding for this, no, that's not the case. We don't need deep dive into the coding. We don't need deep dive into the mathematical part unless you are playing a data scientist role. So if you are targeting a data scientist role, make sure that you do all these courses or else you do all these learnings on your own. But if you don't need to do that, you will be settling with your full stack development experience, and then you will add AI skills. And if you try to build some AI tools, then right, this is the right time and you can jump in. You just need to have the exposure of the tools, what you need to do, and how you can work with the large language models or generative AI, anything. So what I'm saying is you don't need the full background of the system. If you are playing an AI engineer role, you just need to know what kind of a model you are going to apply on your business problem, what kind of a method you are going to call in your Python. That's it. These two things, if you know, that is even building a model means it is just 10 to 20 lines of code. People may think that there are hundreds lines of code, but that's not the case. Most of the time, most of your business problems are already, they do have a model already which is fitting into your model business problem. You just need to call that model and train that model against your data and then evaluate and put that model into the production and give more new data to that model. That is what you guys are going to do, most of the people. But if you are playing a data scientist role, if you are playing an AI architect, AI solution architect, these kind of roles, then you will start from the scratch. Basically, you will decide whether you have to build a new model or you have to use an existing model from the library, which is already available in your mathematical Python libraries. Even the mathematical background, whatever is happening with every model is already built in your Python libraries. Python libraries actually doesn't have straightforward libraries. They are also using the libraries which are built in C or C++. So you don't need to learn all these things. You just need to have conceptual understanding in the models, and then how the model works, where I can implement this model in my business problem. You just need to know that. For example, you were given a bunch of images. You need to identify whether there is a cat in that images or dog in that images. That means you need to have a classification algorithm or a model which is built based on classification algorithm. You just have to apply that thought. It's just going to be 5 or 6 lines of code for you once you know that. So knowing that, and applying that is essential. But try to build on your own. If something you are trying to build completely from the scratch, a model I need to build. So you do have around 12 to 15 algorithms before you. You have to choose from that algorithms which algorithm would be applicable for my business problem. Because every business problem will be having a diversification. It is dependent on the data. So some data might be structural, like SQL or anything. Some data might be unstructured, means data will be in the form of documents, in the form of videos, in the form of images. So in some databases you might see structural and unstructural combined together. So so the behavior of your data itself is different. Because of that, the model which you are trying to apply might be different from case to case, from data to data. So that is what you need to know. That's it. And if you are trying to do this data scientist role, I would suggest definitely to go with vector algebra, integral calculus, probability, to some extent of the statistics. So statistics is essential for ML engineers and the data engineers. Of course, to some extent for the ML engineers as well. Data analyst, ML engineer, data engineer. These roles might need SQL, Python, statistics knowledge. Then you can jump into the AI projects. You don't need to know everything about the models and their history. Okay, and AI full stack engineer. This kind of role is actually is similar to our full stack developers who knows the front end, who knows the back end. They build something in the front end, they build something in the back end. They try to combine both and they deploy it to the server. So nowadays we are having DevOps engineers, right? Who will deploy our system, who will be maintaining the CI/CD pipelines. So these DevOps engineers also have this place in AI/ML, because MLOps is the aspect where we are trying to upload the models into production. We are trying to manage the production. So we are building the pipelines there as well, similar to the DevOps pipelines. MLOps pipelines are being built. So if DevOps engineers is trying to look for something in AI, they can simply learn AI ML. I mean MLOps related stuff only. They don't need to go jump into that 1 year course. That's the main agenda. Because of that, I thought of segregating these into role-based understanding, conceptual-based understanding, and then go for the practicals. That's the main motive for my course. I hope I'm clear so far. Any questions?
So,
Yeah.
one quick question. This is Naveen.
Yeah, Naveen.
So, one quick question. Like this is more like some frameworks, right? Which is already someone has already created. Like for example, in Java, the Spring framework. So someone has already created that. So and the developers are trying to reuse that framework. So
That's
the
right.
same thing, right? The same logic applies here.
Exactly.
So we don't need to learn everything like from the
That's
scratch.
right.
Just try to
Exactly.
reuse the framework existing.
Exactly. We do have frameworks as well here. LangChain, LangGraph, you can explore that. These are all the frameworks which are better for building a model and then deploying a model. Okay. I'll show you that. Hugging Face is a website. You can explore that. And LangGraph is also separate entity, and they provide the services. So you can use this. This is open source. Nobody needs to pay anything for that. So you can do the experimentation as well. Nobody is going to restrict. Okay.
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 So we really don't need to know like stats, probability, all that linear
Exactly.
algebra.
Exactly. But there is
If
a
you're
conceptual understanding. You need to know when I need to apply a mean, when I need to apply variance. Mean and variance are the major things in your stat. So you just need to know the definition and why I need that. Okay. You don't need to find the rank correlation or something. You don't need to do the mathematical calculations for that. That's how it is. Okay. And even probability. You just need to know I'm giving some input. I need to get some output as a prediction. Probability always gives you a predicted value from 0 to 1. That is the basic thing. So every time your answer is going to be from between 0 and 1. That is what the probability is going to give me as an output. That means that is enough for you. But there is, in the background, there is a Bayesian theorem. Everybody knows about it, whoever is a math student. So what is the Bayes theorem? What is it is going to do for me? You don't need to know that. You have the libraries for that. I hope I'm clear, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
So some basic understanding of math should be good.
That's right. That's right. But don't worry, if you feel, everybody feel like AI ML definitely needs maths and stat, include even to some extent calculus. It is yes, and it is no as well. It depends on the role you are playing. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But
Got it.
you can learn the things. Even if you are a non-math student, you can learn these concepts. I do have very valuable resources. YouTube videos are there, excellent videos, which are graphical representation of the mathematics explanation. Even a non-math student also can learn those things. So I'll just share those resources also during my course. You can go with that if you are interested in maths, even if you are a non-math student. Okay.
Okay. That's nice. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anybody knows about this guy? Anyone? Have you ever heard of this name or Coursera? Maybe you might have heard about Coursera.
Yes.
Not Coursera. Everybody knows this one. Coursera, I know.
This guy, right?
Everybody, yeah, should, yeah.
Is it Google, correct?
He worked
Sorry?
at Google previously, then he moved to China, yeah. Baidu, he's working Baidu now, yeah.
Yeah, he's the best example for shifting his career from non-AI to AI, actually. He has done that. It's been almost 5-6 years, I believe. And he has done the tremendous teaching on AI aspects. So he did the teachings in Stanford University, MIT University. There are lengthy videos, 1 hour, 2 hours videos are there in YouTube. They are free. Everybody can access that. That's what I'm saying. If that stuff is already available in the videos, the same thing is going to be given to you in these 1-year courses. Whatever I learned in IIIT Hyderabad is the same thing basically. The basic with Python required for your programming, and then mathematical stuff required for your programming, that can be learned actually online as well. So he has a very good I mean, he's a co-founder for Coursera as well as deeplearning.ai, the other one. You can see a lot of stuff available there. And you search for this guy, Andrew Ng, in YouTube, you'll see n number of channels as well, n number of learning videos. And he's doing a great service actually by teaching AI. So this statement is actually, from him, artificial intelligence is the new electricity. When the electricity came into picture, early 19th centuries, I believe, right? So how drastically the industrial revolution changed, everybody knows about it, right? So the next 100 years is the history. The similar thing is going to happen with AI here. The next 1 year, I'm not sure what is going to happen. Everybody thought that AI might replace our jobs in next 5 years or 10 years or so, but I don't believe that. I believe it may take just 1 or 2 years. Imagine if you are not capturing the AI knowledge, and if you are not on par with the technology trends that are happening right now, then definitely you will be in the back bench, and you will be regretting later. But you people had taken that decision to understand why AI ML. It's not a complex thing if you have an interest, and don't try to learn the things in a roller coaster ride, like sitting for a weekend entirely. Saturday, Sunday, I need to finish this entire topic. Don't do that. My suggestion would be have a 1 hour slot on a daily basis, but don't change that slot. It can be anytime your feasible time, early hours or late hours, but definitely you have to prepare on a daily basis. If you are not doing that, then you are missing something. So smaller portions, compound effect. Just try to do that. Okay. And this is what the situation right now. Everybody should be agreeing with that. If you're asking a guy, sell me this pen, they are simply saying that it is AI enabled. That means that's how they are selling the products right now. There is of course, fraud is also happening because you don't know what AI capabilities it is having. Even if the text got generated in a website, people simply say that it is an AI-enabled website. So that is what it is, the craze right now. We need to capture that as well, right? So coming to AI and ML, what is AI and what is ML? I'll try to explain. These are the statements which you can see in any search engine if you try to do. But basically, AI is trying to learn the things. It is trying to mimic the humans, whereas machine learning is trying to access the data and doing some statistics around it, and it will be taking a decision on top of it. So there is a slight change on AI and ML both. AI is the superset, whereas ML is the subset of AI. That means ML is part of AI. AI is actually a human brain. Imagine that it is a human brain, but with machine level tasks or program. Whereas ML is part of it. It will have a task-based work where it needs to work on this particular specific task which is assigned to it, and it will do some analysis on the data based on that task and need to do, and it will do some statistical calculations on top of the data, and it will find out something and do the predictions on top of it. That is what it is. So ML is also part of your daily work or daily life. Actually, if you haven't seen that, you are watching your OTT movies, right? Amazon Prime and Netflix. You see the recommendations are coming to you. Which particular genre you are watching, only that genre is showcased to you. So ML is trying to do that in the background. That is what machine learning in the background. Even YouTube channels also, whatever is being shown to you is actually a machine learning concept. And the Google search engine is actually built on machine learning concept. So these are already part and parcel of our life. We don't know. We are just thinking that we are entering into the AI world, but it is already there. So your social media, which is nothing but a machine, is trying to control you. So that is where we are right now. There are two types of AIs. One is narrow AI and then general AI. You might have heard about AGI. If somebody had, have you, any one of you heard about AGI? What is AGI? No problem. I'll tell you. Narrow AI is the one which is right now we are feeling. I mean, basically the examples, if you look at in the left hand side, speech recognition systems like Siri and Google Assistant. So task based ones. You ask something, you will get something, right? And then the facial recognition technology. This facial recognition technology in they have implemented a software in China, which actually trying to recognize the people on every CC camera that are installed in entire China, and the system in the background tries to verify any criminal records with respect to this captured image in the CC camera. And if it found any specific criminal records for this guy, it immediately alerts the systems nearby the police departments. So this is already implemented in China, and they are using that concept for recognizing the corona patients during the corona phase. So it is already implemented. These kind of technology is already available. That is what narrow AI. Why we are calling weak AI? Because it doesn't have the reasoning capabilities. It doesn't have a decision-making capabilities. You give some task, it will execute for you. Whereas general AI, we are unable to achieve this yet. People call this as AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is equal to human-like intelligence. That's what. We haven't got achieved that. But OpenAI recently announced a couple of weeks back, they have released one more model called ChatGPT model, GPT-4 preview, O preview, I think. That's the model, at least having some reasoning capabilities. What it is doing is, you ask something, it will try to analyze the question, and if it will try to prepare some data, some answer. Again, it will reanalyze the answer. It will think about it, whether I'm giving a wrong answer or not. It will decide, and then it will do some more analysis, and then it will answer that. So it takes some more time. That's the reason execution time for this specific model preview one is a bit more when you compare with the GPT-4 and GPT-4 Romini and other models. So this technology, initial thought, everybody think that we may achieve this maybe in next 5 to 10 years. But looking at the advancements in the last 1 year, we are assuming that by 2025 we are going to achieve general intelligence. So if we are trying to achieve that, means you can have a maid in your home, having a maid robot like movies. They're showing it in already in movies, right? That can happen within 1 year or 2 years from now on. I hope it is clear. So for many questions you do have, what is AI, what is ML, what is data science, what is big data, what is deep learning, why all these things are there, and where should I start, where should I learn, and what should I learn? These are the confusions. These are the questions I heard from many people, even from the freshers also, when they just come out of their course. Good thing is I'm hearing a lot of people completing their AI ML branch engineering, and they're coming out. Even they do have this doubt, why all these things, which particular specific topic I need to concentrate on and I need to specialize on. This is the question everybody is having. So the Venn diagram here, it will give you some clear picture. You know, artificial intelligence is having all this stuff within it. Of course, data science is having some external conceptual understanding also. I'm not touching that, but the main thing here is the data, which is the smaller circle here. That means data is the fuel for our system, AI models or anything, whatever you are talking about. If data is not available, then we are unable to achieve this. So this is the answer for some of the question, like if the AI got evolved in 1950, why we are talking about here now after 60 years, right? It's been 70, I think, 75 years around. So why we are talking about this? Because we do have the data. We don't have data before 2000. Internet era when came in, then we started gaining some data. Now all the search engines, all the video, YouTube, lot of stuff, lot of internet information is already there, right? So all this stuff is actually a fuel for our systems in models, in machine learning aspect. That is the reason it got evolved. And one more important aspect is the computational power of your machines, means your systems, basically. Anybody knows about Moore's law? Have you ever heard about Moore's law? Maybe at least people who knows about the hardware configurations might be knowing about it, like Ramji. No, Ramji. Okay, okay. Moore's law is stating that your chip having the transformers within it, right? Microchip, basically. The
No idea.
processor chip. No problem. So the processor chip, which is actually having the transformers, is getting upgraded every 18 months. So after every 18 months, whatever the current configuration, highest configuration we do have, that is getting doubled, and the price getting half. That is what is happening, and this is Moore's law. So because of that pace, we were able to get the highest computing power for our machine, and that is helping us to read historical data or the gigantic data and try to analyze the data, do some calculations, mathematical calculations. That is what the machines are doing right now. Because of that, deep learning is possible now. At the early stages of 2006 or 2009, deep learning got evolved. That is because By that time, we were able to get our best computers which can do the mathematical calculation at a high level. The floating point precisions, actually, we call it. So those calculations were possible. Because of that, we were able to enable deep learning. Because of the deep learning, we are doing this computer vision, generative AI, as well as speech recognition. These three branches got evolved because of this specific reason. Okay. This is the history, as I was already mentioned about, right? It started from 1950. 60s, 70s, mostly the linear regression and the logistic regression are the models which are evolved during that phase. And in the 70s to 80s, actually, it's called as a winter period. People call it as AI winter because they don't have the data, they don't have the computing abilities, and because of that, they were unable to put funding for the researchers. So the researchers are not happening. Only the theoretical evolutions are there during that phase. So that is called AI winter. After that, in 1980, specifically, they were able to brought back propagation algorithm, which is actually the key aspect in our deep learning or neural network algorithms. So this back propagation functionality or the computation, which helped a lot to research on a specific neuron. I'll talk about that neuron. What is neuron? So that computation ability we got from 1980. I mean, theoretically. So back propagation model is available in 1980, but the computational thing we were able to achieve in 2006. Because of that, in that phase also we were unable to achieve this AI part, ML or DL. So we do have these concepts in our academics, but we were unable to proceed further because of that. And from 2010 onwards, what happened is we got some more algorithms. Jeffrey Hinton is a guy. Everybody says he's the father of neural networks. Jeffrey Hinton. If you heard about him, just explore him about him. He himself introduced deep learning neural networks, and recently, last year, he announced that AI is going to be in danger for the human society. He himself realized the things, and then he announced that. So this guy brought in the deep learning concepts, and from there onwards, a lot of implementations were done. So if you see that in the left hand side, the milestones are there, right? These are the milestones we got achieved during these historical timelines. If you see 1952, 58 perceptron is built. What is a perceptron? I'll try to explain. Perceptron is a smaller unit actually, which is working similar to your brain cell neuron. So, and then multi-layer perceptron came in. So multiple neurons getting together, working together. So multi-layer perceptron is the concept there. And then the probability Bayesian methods were introduced. So the theoretical concepts which were there until 1970. You see that 1970, after that there is a winter, right? Winter period. And then the back propagation came in. So using that, we were able to build some convolution neural networks. People call it as CNN. So basically, if somebody is saying that they're trying to generate text, generative AI, and they're trying to text to text, text to image, text to video, text to speech, speech to text. These conversions are already happening, right? All these are having the strong background with this CNN models. Before that, there is a small model called RNN as well. So recurring neural networks, convolution neural networks. These are the basic foundations for deep neural networks. And there are several algorithms are there, which we will talk about whenever there is a business case comes in. So I already explained to you why this is hard now, right? These are the characteristics which we are looking at: increased computational power, the recent developments in Gen AI, which was happened in last 15 years, and then the breakthroughs in deep learning. And most important aspect is data availability. You do have the abundant data now. 10 years back, we don't have this one. 10 years back, you don't have YouTube. YouTube is there, but we didn't have this much of data, right? So trillions of gigabytes are being generated hourly based. So we do have an abundant data. And because of machine learning, we are able to prepare our own synthetic data as well. What is synthetic data means? You give some data to machine learning model and it will generate the similar copy of the model again for you with different structure, different examples. Maybe you give 100 examples to model, it will generate 1,000 examples for you. Simply, I would say mock data in your programming model. You will try to build your program and you give some test data to it, right? You do some mocking. A similar kind of a thing is called actually synthetic data in AIML. So even synthetic data preparation is also possible now because of the existing data. And that synthetic data is being the source for large language models right now. So if somebody asks you to build a large language model, you can simply say that from the scratch we are not doing, because already large language models were already predefined. What is meant by GPT? Anybody knows about it? GPT. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Model, GPT. That means it is already trained. This is a large language model and it is already trained on some data, nothing but internet data. Simply saying that model might have read around 2 to 3 crores of books during that training, that already having that capability, that knowledge. On top of it, what you are trying to give is, you are going to give your own customized business data, the domain specific data to that model. You may ask why you are already saying that 3 crores of books it already read. That means it might have already read this domain data, right? Of course, but it is the public data which the model built and trained upon. But the company will be having a security, right? Data integrity is there, so privacy is there. Most number of companies hasn't given that data to these large language models for training. That is the reason you might have heard about some of the suits are running right now against OpenAI, Gemini, and Meta as well, because some companies are filing suits against these models because they thought that they have theft their own data, privacy of their data, and they read this, they trained these models based on this data, which is actually supposed to be secured, supposed to be integrated, and supposed to be privacy of a specific company. So these kind of problems are there with the data right now. But right now it is hard because we do have all these capabilities, and now the problem is we don't have the workforce to integrate all this, to manipulate this, and to work like a bridge between the machines and the business cases. That is the workforce which we are talking about. And here are the real world applications. Most of you might have already heard about these customer service chatbots, healthcare, where they're trying to predict the diseases, trying to do investigative analysis against some medical reports, which is already happening. And in the retail also, retail is largely gaining momentum because I'll give you some small example. Imagine that there is a CC camera just before an Apple store, and it captures how many people passing through that shop but not entering into the shop. How many of the people are just standing there and watching and looking at the Apple store and for a moment and then moving up. So it may give you the count, the machine, based on using that image recognition software, right? How many people, their gestures it can capture. So it will give you a count and it will say these people, this person they had some intention, but they haven't entered into the store. Find out that. That is one business case for them, to capture those people actually. They might bring important attraction or a business discount for something, these people. So these kind of cases are there. And one more important example, I would say, imagine that during the Christmas period, what happens in US or in European countries, mostly the stores, they'll see a lot of purchasing power during that period. And suddenly in the month of January, people will be trying to what should we say, frugal. They don't want to expend more money because they have already done it in the month of December during the festive season, right? So in the month of January, what they'll do, they'll try to do frugality things, like they'll choose a specific product which is low cost. So the supermarkets or the consumer, I mean, basically the e-commerce companies try to attract these people with these kind of products which are around that pricing area. So there is an analysis which they did, and they were able to succeed, and they were able to get more sales during that phase also. So these kind of examples are actually coming out because of the machine learning and AI related business problems, and then they're trying to train the system and they're trying to give the prediction. So agriculture as well as transportation, finance, everywhere you are trying to see a lot of changes there. Nowadays, people trying to analyze the trading, stock market analysis, right? Stock market pricing also within. They are taking the historical data of the stock value from last 30, 50 years. And they're trying to predict within next 3 to 6 months how the stock price is going to move. So based on that, the people are trying to invest. Of course, we are not saying that it is 100% accurate, right? That is where the model comes into the picture. So if your model is trying to predict something and giving a prediction of a value from 0.8 to 0.9 means it is accurate up to 80% or 90%. It is not 100%, right? So basically, your model is giving an output, which is a probability value varying from 0 to 1. This is how we implement the systems. So your models most of the time give you 90% accuracy, 1985. If it is giving 100% accuracy, well and good, but people may suspect what kind of data you trained upon, whether you have given any differentiation in your data, or you are trying to give one set of data, one specific categorical data only. If you are not trying to bring in multiple categories, multiple situations, scenario-based data to the system, or the narrow cases also considered in your training, then only you will be able to see that. So that is where the model building, model tuning, model fine-tuning capabilities are the activities comes into the picture, where data scientist or ML engineer or data engineer will do that. I hope you guys are clear so far. Any questions? Or am I boring?
No, it is.
No funny. Yeah, we are good.
All right.
Yeah, we are good. Yeah.
Please. Okay. So
Funny.
there are, yeah.
Just one clarification.
Yep.
You mentioned about general AI and again generative AI. So
Yes.
these two are different, or are they?
Two are different.
Okay.
AGI is actually artificial generative intelligence.
Okay.
Generative intelligence, Gen AI is the one which is we are already dealing with. So if you are trying to talk to a chat GPT, that is Gen AI. Okay, and there are some models which are generating images like Midjourney, Flux, Luma Labs. These are the tools they are trying to use. You just type in text, or you just give some image and give some proper prompting. I'll talk about the prompting also.
Okay.
So proper prompting, if you give, then it is providing you an excellent output, which is actually based on the Gen AI again. So these Gen AI, if it takes a reasoning also as a capability, then it becomes AGI. I hope that is clear.
Yeah, clear.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So there are fun facts here, fun and exciting facts. Some of them are actually, I talked about the Turing there. 2023 DeepMind's AlphaFold AI, that's the model, actually predicted the structure of nearly all known proteins. You know, reading the structure of a protein is actually how difficult it is. Maybe the people in chemical or pharma people might give you the understanding, but this particular model read complete structure within a single day. That is what the models can achieve. And you see, GPT-4 model, which is released by OpenAI, this model involved in some exams, academic exams, and it got some tests. It was able to clear some with some distinction actually. So everybody, even some medicine level exam, law level exams, all kind of exams, they gave a training to the model and they asked the model to attend these exams. It was able to give that. The current models which are having an IQ around 160, if you know about IQ, what is an IQ? Einstein's IQ is, people say it is 162 around. So our models are having an IQ of 150 or 160. That is in your palm right now. If you look at your WhatsApp, you're already having a model with you. You don't know that. Meta is already providing a Llama model. It is called Llama 3.1. It is available in your WhatsApp. If you look at that, so whatever ChatGPT questions you are doing, you can try there actually. People doesn't know, most of you. You try experimenting that, you will see very good questions there, very, very good responses, informative responses there. Only the part is it is not having that much coding capabilities. Of course, for a regular work, we don't need that, right? So that's about Llama 3.1. Coming to this list, actually, you see the Python name, how that name was given as. People might be thinking that it is the snake name, but that's not the case. This is about the British comedy group, which was more famous in UK. They have given the naming after that specific group. Okay, and so the quantum computers is another role. Some of you might have already heard about it. It is based on quantum mechanics or the physics, quantum physics. Once we do some more significant achievements there, and if we combine AI with that, it is beyond our imagination. So that is going to happen sooner. So we may need to know about these aspects as well as we move on. We cannot start and we cannot stop at this place. At this stop, it is immediately with AI and ML. There is more coming actually. So be prepared for that. Try to explore those things. Okay. So I'll talk about these tools. Anybody has any idea, any of these logos? Please call it out if you know any logo here.
ChatGPT, the first one.
Okay, great.
And that
Is it
one is
ChatGPT?
Second one.
No.
Second one. Anybody know?
Meta
uh,
is the fourth one, right?
the third one is AI,
Yeah.
right? Generate.
Third one is Gemini.
Gemini.
yeah.
Gemini is nothing but Google's
Gemini.
machines,
Yeah.
Google's model. Second one is Claude, CLAUDA, Claude, which is from Anthropic. This is very valuable model for the developers, programmers. If you haven't tried this one, I would suggest you guys to try this, because this is having more coding capabilities than ChatGPT, and it can give you entire source code. If you try to give proper prompting to this model, it will give you. I'll showcase that. I do have that open in my browser as well. So Gemini model is the third one. Nowadays, whatever Google product you see, you will see that symbol on top right corner. So Gemini model is having some kind of open source and some proprietary also there. And Meta is completely open source, which is a good thing. Zuckerberg did that while Gemini and ChatGPT trying to make it proprietary. But Zuckerberg released all those models as open source. So he's doing a great job there, I would say. And their top model is right now 3.1 Llama. This model I have installed actually in my machine. I'll showcase you that as well. This model can work for you as an assistant. Imagine that a PhD professor with an IQ of 150 is working for you. What kind of a work you are going to assign to this guy? Just think about it. It is beyond your imagination. You need to think in a way that how it is going to help me in my job, how it is going to help my skills to upgrade, how it is going to help me to build some of the AI tools, right? And the fifth one is the important one, Hugging Face. Anybody knows about it? This is the platform where you can do experiments with models. So whatever the models, the first four, right? They are available in Hugging Face. Hugging Face will give you to some extent the open source models. You can build some tools on top of it. Actually, there is a tool called Gradio or Replit. Some of the UI tools are there. Gradio is the UI, which is you can simply generate text boxes and buttons. Simply, you can call some models, and then you can call some APIs in the background. Fast API is one of the API which you can use. Using these tools, you can build some chatbots on your own. As you know, some of the open models are already open source, right? Now you can build some chatbots using that in Hugging Face. If you just know slightly the Python language, I'll talk about the Python language as well. And don't worry about the language complexity right now, because anybody can learn Python. Because it is simple English language. I would say a programmer would learn this in 7 days, and a non-programmer might take 2 more weeks, might possibly 2 to 3 weeks of time, and you will be able to learn the essential Python which is needed to build your models or building chatbots or something like that. So think about it. Don't worry, you can jump in. Even the non-math guys, non-programming guys, non-IT guys also can work on these tools. Those are very much simple. Anybody can jump into it. The right next one is the LangChain model, which was somebody was asking me, right? Do we have a framework for us in models? So that's the answer for you. LangChain and LangGraph are the frameworks where you can simply call those methods and call the model, train the model, and test the model, and then deploy the model. So then the model will be doing the prediction on production data. That's how it is. What about the last logo on the first line? Anybody having any idea?
Yeah, that is like Perplexity, right? Like that some of the Indians are working there actually.
That's great. It was built by Indian actually.
Mm.
So it is using the OpenAI, the first logo, right? ChatGPT logo. So the OpenAI related APIs, it is being extracting, and then it is providing to the search. I would suggest you guys to use this Perplexity. If at all you can try once, then you won't be going back to Google. You know,
Okay.
but don't try to search like you are doing in Google. The keywords and the prompt is very much important for every model. You need to learn that. I would simply say what is essential for this specific prompt. You know, if you are trying to ask someone what kind of a structure you will form in your mind for a question. Usually what you will do is you'll try to explain your current context. Where do you have the situation? And you ask them, do you have any idea about this? And I'm expecting some kind of an answer in this type of format, right? So if you're trying to converse with a new person, you try to give complete picture about your context and what you are expecting from the other person. That's how it should be, the prompting. Don't give like show me something, give me something, like the Google prompt you do, right? So don't compare this with Google, but it is a large language model. For example, I'll try to say explain transformer in deep learning to me like I am a 5-year-old. You know, I'm saying that I'm a 5-year-old kid. Try to explain me the concept.
So based on your age, it will it will convert
That's
the
right.
answer to be.
I'm sorry, but something is problem.
Yeah, I think some of the video I saw on Indian was explaining about this Perplexity.
Yeah. So using this, you can learn anything, any concept. This question you can ask ChatGPT also. Okay.
Something maybe blocking you. I think.
And this is the other one, Claude. I'll try to showcase that even after that. Both are working similar way, but Claude is having its own model, which is actually called Claude Sonnet 3.5. Okay, that's the latest model. Where is that? It is, yeah, here. You see that? These are the models available for you: Claude 3 Opus, Claude 3 Haiku, Claude 3.5 Sonnet. And try to open ChatGPT and see the models. So you just need to know the difference between these models and how I can use these models in my day-to-day work. That is what I'm trying to explain. Here, this Claude will give you a simple application. I'll try to ask, build a landing page for my what business? My e-commerce business in HTML, CSS, and anything,
TypeScript or something.
TypeScript, whatever. I'll simply say HTML and CSS for
Yeah,
now.
that's enough.
See. Just look at that right hand side. There is going to be a window. Another window is going to open and it will write the code for you. This is called artifact section. Okay, this artifact is going to show you the UI part also. See what I didn't mention just now. I need a landing page for my e-commerce store. Okay, feature products, add to cart. It just generated the HTML page. I haven't got the backend code. I can ask that as well. Build the backend code using, I would say, React and Next. So it will give you the basic structure of the application. On top of it, you can do the customizations, right? Do I need a coding here? Do I need to know what is JavaScript, what is HTML, what is React? I didn't even know Next.js actually, but just now recently I jumped into it and I'm able to learn that because of these models only, I would say. So it has given the code as well as it has given the backend code here, and then it is mentioning the folder structure for you to prepare, create, and then it is giving you the bash commands or the PowerShell commands where you can run your application. It says you'll see the application in localhost 3000, right?
3000, okay.
So this is how the things are happening. And now tell me, where do we stand, right? And there is another tool called Cursor. How many of you heard about it, Cursor?
No.
No, right? I'll showcase that as well. I just thought of showcasing you the real world examples. Then you will understand the seriousness of immediate learning that is required for us. Okay. I'm just trying to create a directory landing commerce, e-commerce, which we just created, right? I'm just going to that directory. Oh, sorry. Okay. So anybody learned working in Visual Studio Code, not Visual Studio? How many of you know Visual Studio Code?
Yeah, Visual Studio. Yeah, we use Visual Studio
Right.
for the.
I'm talking about Visual Studio, or Visual Studio is an editor. Visual Studio Code is also an editor, but Visual Studio Code is actually open source. So most of the developers try to use that. But in companies, you will be having licenses, so you will be using Visual Studio. So you can open that Visual Studio or code here. Actually, code dot will give you the editor open. Right now, I'm doing cursor dot. It will open the cursor editor actually, which is similar to Visual Studio Code. you don't need to be a developer to do this. That is what I'm stressing upon, because anybody can learn this simple things. Now I have opened it. I'll try to say this is AI enabled editor for me right now.
Oh,
Control
okay.
Shift I just mentioned. Build. You can copy paste that whatever we gave that to Claude, right?
So funny in that cursor. Have you did any pre-installation for that cursor?
Nothing.
Okay.
This is another tool, cursor.ai. You can search for that. Actually, they provide some limited tokens for you. I mean, tokens in the sense the number of words or text you are inputting into that system. So they do have a limit number of questions. Probably you might ask 20 to 30 questions to it for a month. That is a free one version. And if you want a licensed version, you have to pay $10 around it. So I'm actually doing the subscription for at least ChatGPT, Claude, and Cursor. I'm doing some experimentation around all these things and trying to build some AI tools. So I'm able to build these tools within a week or so, whereas the same application usually would take for an average developer around 4 to 5 weeks, or in some cases 1.5 months in some cases, because you will have various issues and you need to build that, right?
Okay.
Build a Next.js shard CN UI web application with e-commerce capabilities. I'm just giving some generic statement here. I'm asking the model to build this for me. You see that statements it is giving, and it is generating the code for you. And on the left hand side, you will be able to see the files also being generated, right? I don't know the technology. Actually saying that, of course, I know some basic knowledge on this, but I don't have a deep dive knowledge on the current Next.js or shard CN UI. So you see, now the source code has already built. You go to the source code files, and okay, it is waiting for your permissions actually to do that. Every time it will say you have to apply. Okay, it will suggest the changes every time, and it will prompt you to apply. Then only it will be able to generate the files for you. That's how it is.
So funny. See, these kind of practicals, right? Like me say, just some generic question out of this learning. Can we do these practicals on a computer provided by company? Like, because will it harm anything to us?
I would say there are some extensions which you can install in your Visual Studio. Let me open Visual Studio Code for you. So there are AI-enabled plugins are available. You can just install them. That won't. But unless you do have a firewall extension, firewall restriction on Visual Studio extensions.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I was able to install a couple of extensions. I'm not
Then
particular about this AI, but other extensions I was able to.
So here I'm just typing for Kodi. Kodi is one kind of extension. You can try this. Which one it is? Yeah, this is 373K downloads, right?
Yeah, I saw that while I was searching for other things, like it was telling about something Kodi only, I think. Okay.
Yeah. So this Kodi is going to open a chat for you.
Okay.
Then check for the model. You need to log in with your GitHub account. That is one thing for this particular thing. Or Gmail account. Maybe there would be a firewall restriction for you for Gmail, but I don't think it would be a restriction for GitHub.
Okay.
Right. So you can create a GitHub account of your own and then just log into this. Once you logged into the system, it will be prompting you to redirect you to this thing.
Okay.
I'm just selecting GitHub account of mine, and it is just will ask me to authenticate. I think I need to accept that in my mobile.
Got it.
So that's how it is.
Yeah.
The core
Let's
part
continue with that. Yeah.
Yeah, the core part is actually to say these models are going to help a lot. And in the specific cursor part, I would say select this, Control K, and you can type something here that will update that, modify that code specifically. Just typing, you don't say anything. You say that there is more functionality need to be added to this particular selection code. Just let's update that. That it will do. Okay. So why I'm experimenting, why I'm showcasing this, because building the models using these kind of capabilities is going to be easy for you, and you can do the experimentation on your own while you are doing the next 3 months or 4 months of practice. These tools are going to helpful for you. Okay.
Okay. So that's why you mentioned here the Visual Studio Code symbol also.
Exactly.
Here.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the board symbol is actually Replit. This tool can use for building a web application. And you can deploy your application to the production directly from Replit also. It will generate a auto-generated production URL for you, unless you do need a domain name, you can use that. Okay. Streamlit. This is Streamlit. Sorry, this is Replit actually. And this is Jupyter Notebook. This is the important one, which I'm going to talk about next, because everybody is talking about model. Then how can the large companies or the bigger companies are only able to run the models and deliver the models, whereas what about the other companies? There is a reason for that, because it is actually the cost related aspect. You know, for running a model, you need at least a 16 GB graphic card, not your regular RAM I'm talking about. So there should be an additional configurational stuff you need to maintain in your servers so that your neural network model will be executed. So how and why, we'll be talking about it in the course. So because of that, you won't be able to run the models in your local system. Okay, you won't be able to build the models. You won't be able to train the models in the system. So what's the alternate we do have? That's the reason we do have this Google Colab. Anybody heard about it?
Not funny.
Okay. So the Google Colab is nothing but an editor, which will be helping you to build your own program. And you see here it is saying connect. This is on browser you are doing it. So you are trying to build a model on a browser, train a model on a browser, and you will provide the data here itself, which is actually 75 GB around. I think it is being supplied by Google. By default, it is they're providing. See here, the available disk capacity for you. This would help you to upload to some extent smaller amounts of data, less than 75 GB, which you can upload. It can be in an Excel format, it can be in a CSV format, it can be in text or anything, images or anything. So using this platform, you can try to build the models. That's the reason I have added Colab here in the presentation. Okay, we'll talk about that tool as well. Google and Jupyter are similar, both actually.
Is that Triplet Hyderabad? Like something I read.
Which one? Yeah, this file is actually the one which I learned from them. There is an example. So here the data is given, and you can generate the data. You can provide a chart for that, and you can create some pictorial representation on top of the data. See, the output is given as 51 here. Means the capability, this model predicting 51%. That means 49% it can be wrong.
Wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Got
so it's a poor model, right? That is how you can define. So this kind of a functionality and execution you can do only in browsers. You cannot do that in your local machines unless you upgrade your machines. Okay. So I'm talking about model since 1 hour. What is a model? Why do we need a model? Anybody had any idea? People might be scolding me. These
No,
guys models, but what is a model? Is it a program or is it something else? What is the format of the model? How do we define a model? It's kind of a program. So you just give some instructions to this model so that it learns something and it will accept something, and then it will think about something, it will analyze something, and it will try to give you some prediction on top of it. That's how the models work. So there are different types of models are there: supervised learning model, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. So what are these things are doing actually? We are going to talk about these in the course. So supervised is basically, it will have some data available and it is going to predict something which is expected value. For example, it knows group of animals or group of birds are available. It needs to identify a specific animal. That means it already knows the answer, and it needs to predict the answer from the set of animals and birds. So that means you know the answer already. That is what supervised learning. Whereas unsupervised means you don't know the answer. Answer can be anything, like cancer assessment or anything. So we don't know specific answer which it can generate or which it can predict. Those kind of business models considered under unsupervised models. So there are a set of algorithms available for supervised as well as set of algorithms available for unsupervised. You just need to learn that. That is what the data science part I'm talking about. If you are trying to build your profile like an AI engineer or a data engineer or an ML engineer, you don't need everything to know, but at least the basic concepts. What is this model? What is this model is talking about? What kind of algorithms it will assign to? If you know those concepts, then that is enough, right? And how the decision making, how the model is going to take the decisions, and how the model is going to analyze the data, depending on the size of the data, depending on the complexity of the data. These things you should be knowing as a data engineer, as an ML engineer. Okay. So when you are doing the model building or model evaluation, or before that, data pre-processing or exploratory data analysis, people call it as EDA. Nowadays, usually the freshers might be hearing about it when you are in a 4th year program. People might be saying that you are doing some academic project on EDA. What is EDA? Usually, you will be given some set of data and you are going to do some cleanup of the data, and then you will arrange the data so that your model understands the data. That is what you are doing. That is what EDA actually. So once that is done, the model is ready now. Sorry, the data is ready, and you are giving that data as a training to model. Model will try to eat that the data, and it will try to predict something on top of it. It says, okay, data is saying something, some X, and I can achieve something based on this, and using some statistics, I'm trying to derive something on top of it, and using some probability, I'm trying to derive something on top of it. And finally, I give that 0.51%, which I have shown you right in the Google Colab notebook. That would be the output. So you have seen the program, right? This is not 100 lines of code. It is around 20 to 30 lines of code, and you just need to call the required methods. That's it. You don't need a programming knowledge around it. Okay. And these are some of the set of the models. Now, you know, supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. The third one, reinforcement, I didn't mention, right? Reinforcement is actually trying to learn on its own. It will be giving, you are giving some task to it, and you are saying there are some rewards for you if you're trying to learn. If you're trying to give me some output, then I'll reward you. Something like that. This concept basically is given, is built on under Tesla. So the Tesla cars were built, the driverless cars, right? They do have the reinforcement learning based implementation. So there is a reward for everything. So when it is judging the traffic, judging the objects, it will gain some rewards. The system will gain some rewards. So to gain those rewards, it will try to find the right path for you, the heuristic path. That's how the models were built. Okay. So all of these models, I'll try to give you on a high level understanding what this model is about and in which business case you can implement this model. The source code part is available in internet. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about the program. You can just get a business case and you can find 10 lines of code there. You'll simply understand that. But why do I need to apply that model? Why do I need to apply that specific algorithm to this specific model? That is what the decision making you need to do. That is the analytical thinking you have to have. So you can achieve that only by going through these algorithms at a high level and go with n number of examples which are already implemented. Those are all available in Hugging Face. That's what I told you. Hugging Face is the platform where you can experiment, where you can learn about existing models. Even you can build a speech recognition model, speech recognition chatbot on your own if you have some full stack capability, simply by calling some models, by calling some APIs methods as well. That's it. So you can do some wonders in your business domains. You're already working with your own domains, right? Healthcare, finance, n number of domains are there. You can just try to find out a problem first and build a business case on top of it and try to build a model and just try to experiment that against some sample data. Do some experimentation and then take this to your company or team or management. You can say this kind of an AI solution I can provide you. So along with your full stack capabilities, you are trying to give AI capabilities also to your profile strength. That's how you can survive. That's why I would say. Anybody has any idea about the left-hand diagram? Nobody knows about this diagram?
No.
No.
Some DNA structure and
This
mitochondria.
diagram is
DNA.
in our sixth standard, in our seventh standard book.
Okay.
Biology, I believe.
Uh-huh.
This is the diagram of neuron.
Neuron.
Okay.
Okay. So your deep learning is working based on neuron capabilities. So the same functionality, same functioning is happening in our neural networks. You see the dendrites are there on the left-hand side. Those are actually the inputs, the points which are taking the inputs inside. And now you just check the right-hand side diagram where those inputs are having some weights, and there is a function calculated on top of it. Okay, and this input along with weights is generating some function as an output. So I'll explain more in detail in the next diagram here. This will give you a bigger picture. See, you are giving an input here, okay, and there are two layers here, right? This is nothing but your model. Imagine that your model is sitting here. You have given an input and your model is having some different layers inside it. Layer is nothing but your neuron level functioning, okay? So multiple layers are there. You just got some output out of that layers. That layers will be there, like input layer will be there, and some hidden layers will be there, and there will be an output layer. So you gave some text. You have asked something to your model, and that gives as an output some y, right? Y dash. Imagine that it is y dash, the output. Now you know already the answer for it. In your model, you already have an answer y. You're just trying to compare y with y dash, saying that, okay, I do have an input x. I have a y value already in my pocket, and I'm expecting an output from this model. The model output is nothing but y dash. So I'll try to compare y and y dash, whether it has given the right answer for me or not, whether the model has given me the right answer or not. So the comparison itself will give you a loss function. Loss function comes like, yeah, somebody raised a hand.
Sorry, Fanny, this is Gangu. Go ahead. So I'll park my question to the end.
Okay, fine, no problem. So the prediction and the actual value we are trying to compare here, and the comparison, if the loss is minimal, that means if you're getting an accurate value or approximate value, nearby value, then you say that the model is good, it is efficient, it is giving a proper value, and that would be 90%, around 95%. You may say the prediction value, right? But if there is a lot of deviation and you are getting loss function higher value, that means there is a huge deviation and the model is not working fine as expected. That's what it is. And it can be measured using loss score. So now what is the solution? You have a deviation. So just go back to the optimizer and update the weights again. Input weights are the number. There are some numbers. Don't worry about it right now. It's just the conceptual understanding I'm trying to give you. Now again, I'll try to update my weights and I'll try to do the same process again and again. This is what the core functionality of a neuron. So basically, neuron takes an input and gives a output as y, and it compares with an expected truth value, actual value. In some cases, the actual value might not exist. So you have to define that. That will be depending on various algorithms anyway. That's another part to discuss. But the right thing is here, the loss function, you have to capture that loss function measured on some value, and you will be giving that to the optimizer. You will adjust some weights so that you will get proper answer. You have to do this n number of iterations. That's where the computation comes into the picture. You will understand why I'm saying a huge computation power needed, because at one neuron level, this kind of a calculation happens. Imagine in your brain cells, thousands, lakhs, millions of
Millions
neurons are
of
there.
neurons.
Yeah, millions of neurons are doing the similar calculation in your brain. The similar functionality is happening in your deep learning neural. So imagine how much calculation you have to do. The floating point precisions are the key aspects here, which we consider to do the configuration of the systems. That is the reason the model execution takes a lot of time for deep learning. And using these concepts, we are trying to give text as an input, taking the text as an output. That is one way, which is NLP, natural language processing. And you give the text as an input and get the image as an output, which is nothing but computer vision. That is also working on the same functionality. And you give the text as an input and get the audio as an output, which is nothing but the speech recognition. These are the three branches which are hot right now. So if you decide to work on any kind of an AI project or anything, you might be coming down to narrowing down your work to these three branches only. One is an NLP, which is nothing but Gen AI. Gen AI is generating the text. Gen AI is generating the image. Gen AI is generating the audio for you. So that is where we are going to work. You don't need to work on the model building if you don't need to be a data scientist. You can be an AI full stack engineer with your basic full stack capabilities. You just need to understand what is an input, what is an output is coming. You just will have an API on top of this particular model. You will extract the data from this model and you will reutilize that content. Either it can be text, either it can be an image, or it can be an audio file. You just experiment on your business domain. That's what you are going to do. I hope I'm clear, right?
Yes, you are pretty much funny.
Yes.
Yeah, Gangu, we have some question, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, but you clarified my question, the reason why I raised your hand, and in your consequent statements. I got it. But in fact, I have a couple of other questions.
Okay.
Probably, my apologies, I joined late. In fact, I joined too late, in fact, I can say. I don't know if you have covered this one, because I come from an non-coding background. Though I'm in IT, I'm into IT sales. So what is the adaptability for the the various people or various business cases here where I can adopt, right? So my all intention is, okay, I'm into IT pre-sales or sales and delivery. So how can I adapt the AI or ML in my areas?
Two things here. One is domain perspective. The other one is your company perspective. Which perspective you want me to answer?
Let's talk about the domain. Then I
Okay.
can relate to my
Cool.
org.
So the domain, I will take a case of retail. I have given one example as well in the past. You haven't joined by the time. So a similar case, for example, I need to predict something, predict on sales. You have a supermarket. You have the racks available. The rack positions are there. When you enter into the supermarket, you see on the right hand side specific things, on left hand side specific things. They change that structure or the arrangement every time. Lot of changes might happen. You didn't observe that, might be, but next time you go to the supermarket, you see that. So, and there is a purpose for chocolates keeping at the counter at the lower level, 2 feet level, so that kids will be easy to pick the chocolates and everything, and then they'll add it to the billing, right? That's the psychology. So the similar kind of observations are there in retail. So the model will try to train on these data, which areas in which specific position, which when there is a specific product was placed in a specific rack, how much of sales happened in last 3 years or 3 months or 6 months. Every minute, I would say the reason or scenario or arrangement will be considered for analysis. And your model will say, okay, I have observed your entire sales data from last 10 years, and I have seen that in this particular arrangement, you are getting good sales. So these kind of predictions will be available using AI, right? So the predictions, recommendations, categorization of data, conversion of data from one form to the other form, and all these domain business related answers can be given. So the business problem can be segregated at the granular level, at a higher level, and at the mid level. Everything can be answered. And coming to the companies, IT companies, basically where we can use these AI capabilities, I would say mostly the repetitive work, wherever the automation can be possible. For example, documentation kind of a thing. You know, in IT industry, how the documentations are being ignored, I would say. The developer has to do unit testing, but of course most of the companies right now they're following unit testing, but how much of time you are taking on unit testing? Right now you do have an AI agent which can do the unit testing for you, so that can write the methods for you. You don't need to do that. You just need to concentrate on your logic, and you give the class and methods to that AI agent that will prepare the testing methods for you, and there is another agent for you which can run those tests against this code and give you the report. So usually that takes 3 days or 2 days of a developer's time when he is building some module. But now it can happen within fraction of seconds. So these are all the added value. There are some cases where the documentation needed, which we are avoiding actually because of our agile methodologies. Now you can concentrate on that. You can elevate these methods in those aspects also. So a number of problems are there, and a number of solutions are there, and a number of models are available for us to do that. I hope I answered that.
Yep, very well said, Funny.
Thank you. And these are some pre-trained models. These are some old models. I'm not going to talk about it, but you'll get to know. Now, the important part coming into this, I have already mentioned mostly in my entire 1.5 hour. Why this course is essential for me, not for me, basically everyone. Why do I need to learn AI, and where do I stand with my existing expertise? I have 10 years of expertise. I have 5 years. I'm a fresher. And where I'm going to stand in AI's perspective, definitely we have to think about it. But I believe in my 1.5 hour, you might have already got some of the answers. But this is the steps you can follow. You just need to build some essential skills like Python. I just mentioned about it. Non-math, non-programming people also can learn Python in 2 weeks or 3 weeks of time. You just try that. You just need an interest. That's it. Because everywhere, everybody is talking about something in terms of Python. Why shouldn't we try to experiment that, right? If you are a fresher, definitely I would suggest. If you are a mid-level, experienced level, who already working in other languages, even I suggest to go with this. You will be learning within 3 days or 4 days or week. mostly in a week, right? And gaining the knowledge, conceptual knowledge, you can go with some regular courses, like the BTech engineering as with AIML subjects are different. Even you can go to some academic institutions with long-term courses. But I would suggest that only if you are going for a data scientist role. If or some machine learning role also, you can some extent you can learn those. But you're already expertise in your own domain, in your own skills, and you just want to learn on top of it the AI, then I would suggest you just know about the models, what are the models available, and how I can utilize those APIs or the models, which particular model can be applicable or apt for my business domain. That is enough for you. If that you can gain, I would say in the next 3 months, you can announce in your company saying that I'm an AI-enabled developer. Give me opportunity. If you don't have that, you can directly search for a job which is in hot demand right now, AI full stack engineer. That's what I would say. Okay, these are some job roles. You see, the first column itself is giving some existing IT roles who can match the AI roles, corresponding AI roles, and whatever the skills they might need in that aspect. Mostly Python and SQL are common aspects for the first three. And if you're already a full stack developer, you can directly jump into AI engineer role. Just you need to know the models, what model is providing what kind of an API, how to implement an API. I will explain that in my course, where you can call some API and you can utilize that model. You can build a chatbot. That chatbot can train on your own business domain, which is nothing but called as RAG. We call this RAG, retrieval augmented generation. This is also a model, basically, generative model, but it will be trained on only your privacy data, which is secured one. So you don't need to expose your model to the other outer market or anywhere. So, for example, some companies would say my data completely financial data is having a data integrity issues. I may not be able to bring an open source model into my system and give my data to this model. So you cannot use ChatGPT. That's the reason they are blocking all these models, because they are not giving any guarantee that the data, if you are trying something, some developer may give a code saying that this is my code, correct the code. That means you are giving the code to a model, open model. That model will store the data in the servers. That means you are doing the, misusing the data. So data integrity issues are there. So because of that, this RAG model came into the picture, where you have an open source model which is brought into your system, local network, and they were in your company network, and which was in offline right now. It is not connected to the internet, and now you are giving data to it, the data which is available from your company, which is your domain basic specific data. You train that, and on top of it, you make the models, your tools, AI tools, chatbots or whatever. You can do that. You can generate the reports using the models, whatever you need to do. So that is where major business is right now. You may hear about RAG building tools, RAG chatbots. Every company is looking for these kind of tools need to be built. So obviously there is a workforce need available there. So you just build your capabilities within 2-3 months of time. You don't need 6 months or 9 months of period to complete this. And then you should be good to build all these kind of tools. The same thing, I just mentioned it with the skill set here. Anyway, I'm going to share this presentation to you guys, just for your understanding what kind of skills, what roles which is needed there. Here, the salary structure is available here. Here, one important role is missing, actually, the prompt engineering. That is one more important role, which I would suggest to a person who is a non-computers guy, non-mathematical guy, even arts or any kind of a degree you are having, but at least you have a good communication skills. If you are able to communicate properly in English with proper structured English, then definitely you can try the prompt engineering area. Prompt engineering is nothing but you are talking to your model, right? So the company doesn't know how to communicate with these models. They definitely need to hire the people, whoever is having that capability. So now basically, I'm saying that this is not only the prompt engineering is not only for the technical people or the IT people. Even a person who is having a domain expertise in other fields, medical, clinical, or whatever, uh, motor field or anywhere, mechanical, all these people can learn prompt engineering and gain their future strong there in within their domains as well. So every company is trying to bring in AI at some point of time in next 5 years, even non-IT companies as well. So there the prompt engineering is essential. So people, whoever is out of our arena, they can learn prompt engineering and they can gain. You know, last year there is a highest package given to a prompt engineering guy in US, that is 700K. You can imagine how much demand it is there right now.
Where can the IT manager fit into these roles?
That's right. That's a good question because I'm the same role playing here. If you are a technical guy, then you will be fitting in between AI engineer and data scientist, I would say. But AI ML manager is the role nowadays. It is being raised. If you search for these jobs, managerial jobs which are related to AI ML manager, there are a lot of good opportunities because you should be knowing about the model building, MLOps, everything. You should be knowing about these proper flow. Then you can talk about it even if you don't have an exposure on a production-based applications and models. At least if you have the knowledge, they are trying to bring you into the system because you are going to deal with the data scientist, data engineer, ML engineer. You're trying to work with these people, right? If you don't have the terminology, everything would be Greek and Latin for you. Otherwise, if you have the terminology and the clear picture what is happening, you don't need to execute that, right? You just need to know the content, what is happening there. If that is the case, then manager can shift into AI ML manager. For that, you just need to know about the models. I have gone through some of the job descriptions where they are looking at, of course, they are asking about 5 years in ML. Nobody won't be having 5 years in ML management, that too. That's a wrong perception, but anyway, simple terms, you just need to know the terminology and you should be confident. That's the reason I'm saying if you in the next 3 to 4 months, if you try to build something, build a model or build an AI tool and talk about it and add this in your profile, build a profile in your GitHub and talk about it, you will be a technical manager. You can do that. Am I sensing right?
Yeah. So, but the role to look up is AI ML manager.
That's right, AI ML manager.
Okay.
And if you are interested more on mathematical related stuff, then definitely you can go for data scientist because he would be operating with ML engineers, data engineers, and data scientists as well. And there is one more important role, AI product manager. You can target that as well if you have a good communication and good business domain. You can become a product manager, AI product manager, which is also a hot demanding job, I would say. You'll be dealing with the clients, but you would be saying, you will try to find out the business problem and you will say there is an AI solution for you. You should be having that capability.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Mostly I'm closing. This is the course view overview. There are 15 sessions I'm planning. Each session comprising of 1.5 hours or 2 hours mostly. So I'm trying to plan in 3 weeks. If it is going to be a daily or if it is going to be a weekend, it would be 4 weeks of time. So I'm going to submit a form for you people. Just give me the feedback form along with the feasible timings and other stuff. Then probably within a week, I'm trying to start a batch there. I hope that is clear for you guys. Any questions? And here, session 2 is having mathematics and machine learning. Don't worry about it. I might shuffle that. It depends on the audience actually. So I'm trying to make 2 batches. One would be the freshers possibly, and the rest of the people as a separate batch. Of course, the morning batch and evening batch should be there because of the people of the US and the people are from multiple regions. So just let me know your feedback and everything would be essential for me to decide on the things Okay, just fill this feedback form. I'm trying to give you this, guys, here itself. That would help me a lot to plan accordingly. So
Sure, funny.
I'm just messaging here. You guys can directly click on this one and then okay. Somebody asking about the tool names, right? No problem. I'll be sharing this presentation to you guys. I would ask you to submit this form, as well as there is an inquiry form also there. Which one I'm looking at, because if you provide me the form, then I will be having your email address so that I can mail you the presentation. So make sure you submit both of these links. I have given this in the chat window. Make sure you submit that. Okay.
Hi, Pani. One last question.
Yeah.
So, as a fresher, do we need to learn any prerequisites before deep diving into the course? Because that makes more difference, right, when we are learning.
If you have time, I think you do have 1 week of time, right? Just go through Python for some basics. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Because Python would be there for at least 4 to 5 lines. The rest of them are mathematical methods or algorithm names that you are going to call in your program. That's it. So you don't need to worry about the conceptual understanding of the Python. You just need to know how to read a Python program. That's it.
So how much of this course is
Yeah,
theory
I'm
versus
talking
practical?
about, I'm coming to that. So this is going to be 10,000 fee for 3-4 weeks course. Okay. If you are able to, if you are ready to do, I mean, if you select the batch or timing in that form, then probably in the next 3 to 4 days, I will be communicating to everyone about the fee related stuff, and then the commencement of the classes. Mostly I'm thinking of giving it on over the weekends. Are there any concerns around it if we are going to do it in the weekdays, or is it good to go with the weekends?
For me, this is
This
Gangu.
is
For
also
me,
fine.
we can work.
Gangu?
Weekend,
Yeah.
weekend is better, I think.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, I'm 90% of the people mentioned about weekend, so I'm going with that. Mostly I'll be having both batches in the morning hours and the evening hours. You decide which batch you will be part of.
Oh, like the one which you had yesterday, the similar to that one, same timing, right? Funny.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I told them actually I'm waiting for this session as well, so I'll take the combined report
Feedback.
and feedback based on that. Let me open that actually.
One last question for me. So,
Yes.
So, what will be our confidence level once we are done with this course? When somebody says AI, so what will be our confidence level after this course?
3 things I would say. One is the terminology you would be familiar with. Okay. Nowadays, everybody is talking about it. For example, this is Twitter account I'm opening, right? You should be on top of your Twitter account, I would suggest, and don't go for political and entertainment related stuff. You just follow proper people. For example, I'll show my account. You do that, and you will be on top of new advanced things that are happening on a weekly basis or a daily basis. So all of these following that I'm following here are actually either data scientists or startup companies or already the inventors in their own field. So you'll get some good stuff from these people. That's what I would say. I'll show you some simple few tweets actually. You are learning a lot of things here. Just spend 10 to 15 minutes in Twitter only on these concepts I mean to say, not on the social media related stuff. You will be able to gain a lot of things. Just for do this for at least next 2 to 3 months, and you come back to me and you tell me. You will be talking about people are talking about, right? That is one aspect. And after this course, you will be able to build any tool, AI tool. You have the programming knowledge. Of course, it is not the deep dive into the programming. I have already shown you the demo, right? Where the editor itself is doing the coding for you guys, right? So you just need to learn how to utilize those tools. There are many tools which are free, and some of them are licensed. It depends how much business you are working with. Then you have to decide whether I have to go for a licensed tool or open tool, right? So that's what I would say. So it's all based on the tools, based on the terminology, based on the conceptual understanding that you had on the models and the algorithms, is going to give you a lot of confidence. I'm definitely going to say that after completion of our course and after 3 months of preparation or 2 months of preparation, you will definitely can get a job within 5 interviews, I would suggest. But I'm not guaranteeing you, because it all depends on your hard work. As I mentioned earlier, on a daily basis, 1 hour you have to spend. You have to do it even on Saturday and Sunday also. Don't skip that for 3 months and come back to me.
So we are going to build the models too. How we are going to build the models and all.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Definitely.
I have a question, Funny. So I work for one of the reputed finance company, but they're still exploring. It's at the labs level in the US, East Coast. So given this course completion, will there be any freelancing opportunities while things were still coming up on the company side? We can not lose the concepts. Is that possible?
Lot of things are there. You know, content generation, content creation, everything is there, right? So you can build a financial tool which can do the auditing for you. I mean, a person can upload a financial statement, a monthly statement of his bank account, and your model will assess his expenditure, and it can suggest what things he can do, adjust, so that he can gain something. So lot of scope is there, lot of capabilities are there. Even there is a guy who did some project last month, I would say. He took the entire budget speech from Nirmala Sitharaman, and he took all the files related to that budget, and he built a model on top of it. The model will answer anything related to the budget and the new taxation, and it can give you the proper answer so that you can decide what changes you can do in your your file submission. Imagine the thing. Yeah. So the lot of business scope capabilities are there. Any domain. Wherever text is there, wherever image or video is there, or decision making is there, think about it.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Hey, hi, Tony. I have a question. Like after the completion of this course, so do we get any, support from your end regarding the resume preparations, and also if we do any real?
But I do have there's a session for that. GitHub profile and the resume preparation. I'm trying to assist you on that. Even after our course also, I'm planning for a group or anything, Discord server, where you guys will be the members of it, and then you continuously build your models, and we'll try to learn together. Even I'm learning, right? I'm not saying that I'm complete expert on this. It's just 1 year experience for me. So just think about it. We are going to learn together, and we'll continue that with the communication. No worries. I'll create a platform where everybody will be still there, even after our weeks of course completion.
Okay, sure. One quick question, right, Pani sir. So, is there any certifications that you suggest, to showcase, our skills and all, the GitHub profiles and all?
I do have. I have a list of those, and I'll suggest them as well. Don't worry. A lot of reference, lot of videos, lot of certification options. Everything is there. Only thing is your hard work, I would say, because even if you join a 9 months course, they won't tell you how to learn. They'll just inject a lot of stuff to you, but you have to do the planning, right? You do the proper planning. I'll try to give you the tools. You just can do the catching the fish. So I'm trying to give the tools only. That's what. So don't blame me if you are not getting any job right after 4 weeks of our course. I'm not giving any job guarantee. Okay, this is not a job guarantee course, and this is not a complete ML and AI related conceptual explanation to you guys. What I'm trying to do is I'm customizing this so that I'll explain to you on the models which are essential for us. Even linear regression and logistic regression are the older ones, legacy ones. So mostly the models nowadays are running on deep learning. So we'll concentrate on deep learning. Why do we need to learn linear logistic? But at least we should know what is linear, logistic, or categorical cluster, or decision trees. We should be knowing it, so that we can apply them in future. Coming to the code is available there. If you know the concept, if you know where to apply, that is what the analytical thinking you need to know.
Sure.
Okay. Anything else? I hope.
So how much is it going to be theoretical versus hands-on? And
It depends on
system-wise?
you people. It depends on you. If you insist on me to go with the concept, I can explain number of hours. If you insist on me to let's run on tools, we can do that too as well. But what I'm thinking is approach should be in such a way that both should be balanced. And right after our course, you should be working on your own. You shouldn't be searching for any other resources. We haven't done something which we are missing. We should be doing that, something like that. So all tools which are available in the right now in the market, I'll try to explain them. Probably I'll try to showcase how we can do, we can implement. Some of the models even I haven't built actually. So I'll be working with you, along with you. We'll try to learn all those things.
Tools-wise, is it Google Colab, VS Code? From our preparation.
No, I don't think we need VS Code. But okay, if you are building an AI tool on top of the model which is already available, then yes, VS Code is needed. Right. Google Colab is only for the model building and training. Once you deploy the model, you can deploy that in any server, Hugging Face. Anybody can deploy any model. You can do on your own. You build your own model, you deploy there. And if it is efficient and if you want to keep an API on that, build an API and deploy that and keep a price for that, you can earn that. You can earn money there as well if the model is proper business solution for any specific domain or anything. So think about that. So you can earn on your own also. You can do the freelancing. You can do. You can build own AI tools. You don't need to depend on your job actually. A lot of open scope is there where the business domains are. You have that business domain because of your past experience. So pick that domain experience now. Think about where this particular problem can be applied with AI capabilities. Just that is needed. Okay. I think I have taken your 3 hours of time.
No.
My
no problem. Like
yeah.
Which is the first session, right? Like now, should clarify most of the doubts for everyone.
Clarified, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Good to know. Definitely, it is going to be a helping thing. I don't think 10,000 is not an issue for you people. Just it is worthwhile because you are going to do after that 10-fold or 100-fold of work later.
Yeah, one last question. Is this session under recording, and would we get that presentation slides possible?
Absolutely. That's the reason I mentioned you need to submit the links. I have provided the links in the chat. Make sure you submit so that I have your email address and I will send the presentation to you guys.
Okay. I'm in driving. Maybe in 5 minutes I'll reach my destination. I'll submit it. But I missed the first 1 hour.
Have you submitted the survey?
Not yet. I am driving. I saw your link, but
okay.
I don't know if I can submit now. But in 5 minutes I'll submit.
If I disconnect the call, I don't think I will be giving you the link. Then probably you can search for my LinkedIn profile. The LinkedIn profile is having that. Let me share that profile.
Is that funny, Kohli?
No. PC Shaker. Search for PC Shaker. I'm giving that. So I posted there the survey link and other stuff. So anybody can access that. So if you are disconnected with this call right after this, probably you might miss these links. So make sure you take this LinkedIn profile. If you want to follow, you can do that as well. So in that post, you can see the survey link as well, and then the feedback link also. Please make sure you submit that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Happy to see good number of people turning for the event. Yesterday it was 85 and around it is 30 plus, I think, today. So 100 people, I'm expecting at least 50 or 60 people should be considering the course. Good. Any other questions?
So you want to maybe how you progressed your career? Maybe just a few seconds if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned, probably you haven't heard about that. Early stage I mentioned. I had a passion to explore on the new things that helped me a lot to learn immediately when there is a new technology being introduced. I try to jump in, and that's how I learned SharePoint server, Vstack server, Silverlight, Light Switch, a few things. And similarly, I was closely following AI, but I had this passion about AI, but I never had the opportunity. So when I was having an issue there in my past company during the COVID period, I immediately thought, why can't we learn new things? Of course, I didn't lost my job, but there is a period where we were on bench sometime. And immediately I thought, let's do something, let's learn something. And then I jumped into the AI part. Immediately I heard about the IIIT Hyderabad AI ML course is happening. So there are around 4 to 5 managers. We decided we went to these people, reached out to these people. IIIT Talent Sprint is the institute. Actually, they are combined with IIIT Hyderabad, and they brought professors from Bangalore as well as IIT Madras, as Bangalore IISc, IIT Madras, and IIIT Hyderabad. These 3 institutional professors actually taught us. That was really good, actually, having good exposure on in the university. We were having some hackathons also there, part of it. And most of my career, I was a technical oriented manager. So that helped me a lot. Even though I stopped my coding part in 2015 around, from there onwards, I was doing my own personal projects. So that helped me a lot. Because of that, I was able to jump into this AIML course and then understand the Python part as well as the mathematical stuff. Anyway, I was a math student. That helped me a lot. Then I got more interest on maths because we were wondering in the BSc maths actually why I'm writing 3 pages of code. Why do I need to write a vector algebra? What is vector, scalar, this stuff? And then came to a realization that now your text is being converted into vectors and it will be stored in vector database. So model will talk to vector database. Model doesn't know anything about your text. So when you are doing the data pre-processing, you are converting your data into zeros and ones or vectors into a vector format or tensor format, you say. So vector is a 2-dimensional, tensor is a 3-dimensional, nothing but. So you might heard about 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, right? But in deep learning, you will be listening to 1500 dimensions, to 2000 dimensions. Imagine a data that is being read is having 2000 dimensions. So calculations within that is obviously the critical concept which neural networks is dealing with. So that's how I got interest, and the hackathons helped me. I did a project on speech recognition, speech to text, no, text to speech, basically. So, you heard about this program, Man Ki Baat, right? Narendra Modi's program. So, my professor was working in that program where Narendra Modi giving the speech in Hindi, that is being translated into all regional state languages simultaneously. That's how it is a live program, right? So, he's involved in that building that model, which is converting the Hindi text. First of all, machine translation need to happen to Telugu, and then that Telugu text need to convert it into speech. So that's what the project was. So we understood that the conversion to Telugu was minimal. So I was involved in a project where you say something in Telugu, you record that voice and give it to the system. System need to convert that into Telugu text. So that's what I worked on. This error rate will be calculated here, not the prediction percentage or probability here in these specific models. So error rate, based on error rate, if it is more than error rate should be less than 4 or 5. It shouldn't be 90% or 80%. So you should achieve that benchmark. Then only you can say that your model is working fine, and everything it is being translated into or converted into speech to text models or text to speech models. That's what my capstone project was. And then I started digging into the new AI tools that are being invented and announced. So when I'm working on one model, within 3 weeks of time, you will be getting one more model being introduced. So that's how it is right now. Since last 6 months, it's a roller coaster ride. Every model which you are working on may be going to be out of focus after 1 month or 2 months or so, because they are achieving more capabilities, more accuracy in the model. Now the latest one is this ChatGPT preview one, right? This one. This is the model initiative doing the AGI level thinking. This can think. So you can give a project SRS document to this one, and it will generate a project for you with a complete solution, complete setup, complete installations, steps to production and deployment, everything. You can think that. So you will be having a limited 30 or 50 limitation per month for this particular model, O1 preview. But you should be a ChatGPT Plus user. I'm a ChatGPT Plus user here. So I built a lot of GPT extensions here. Every extension I built, these are the GPT models. Each model is having its own purpose. I can showcase that in our course anyway. That's how I built myself, Naveen, right?
There was
Srinivas, right?
Yeah, would you be using the deep razor in the course, or just wondering, Amazon deep razor? That's on the similar lines, I guess.
The cloud tools you mean to say, right?
Yeah, there's this deep razor program where they, you get, it's a reinforced learning, I believe, with the car, racing car and kind of thing.
Okay, I'm not aware of that. Probably I need to explore.
Got it.
So I can explain you what you can do in the cloud. Google Cloud and Amazon Cloud, they are providing some freebies at the initial stage. You can register and you can gain some 3 months of freebies. So that is going to be your gold mine. You can use that. You can try to experiment on that and then add that in your profile, saying I have an understanding in Google Cloud, Google AI Studio. Whereas AW, I think it is SageMaker or Bedrock, Amazon Bedrock. These are all the tools which they use for clouds. So if somebody is saying that I need you to have a cloud capability with AI, then they'll talk about these tools. So even I haven't done much exposure on that because not much subscription we can hold with. It is only 1 or 2 months for you. By the time we understand and then we initialize the model, we lost the subscription. So I couldn't do that. But in your case, I think once you've done the course, probably you try to initiate your account. Don't do that at the beginning of the course itself. Get the capabilities of knowledge on the model, how to build it, everything, and then experiment on concepts of these AWS cloud and Google Cloud. That might help you to some extent. Azure cloud is also there, Azure AI. Okay, all these 3 clouds are providing some free credits for you to utilize to build your models and deploy your model. So MLOps is part of it.
So this is not a subscription, but I would encourage whoever takes this course, explore the
deep razor.
That's a challenge actually. So people
Okay.
participate and and
sure, definitely I'll explore that.
Not only you but others in the course.
Yeah, that's it from me. If you are feeling bored, please don't scold me. I've given a lot of stuff to you to inject, right? All right then.
Steve,
I just submitted, funny, I just submitted. Naveen here. So you can send me the decks and the recording if you could,
Yes.
please. Yep.
I'll do that within a half an hour. Probably you'll get a mail to
Sure.
everyone.
Thank you very
Actually,
much.
everybody in the call will get that.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Yep.
That was helpful.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
Thanks a
sure,
lot.
Funny. Yeah.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. A good rest of the day, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Hey, Jeevan, you joined again today. Hey, Razi.
Hi.
Hi. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.